We also heard a lot more about, in terms of storytelling, the human drama, that component of it. What kind of limitations do you think you have because you're a modern military first-person shooter in that regard?
I don't think we have any limitations when it comes to creating human drama just because we're a military shooter. So we are creating a story that is revolving about the characters that are inside the war rather than the geopolitics that creates the war. To us, it's extremely important to show the drama of people being inside a war because we've seen like movies do the same thing before. You don't have to have a game about the geopolitics. So to us it's quite obvious, and it's a great kind of propellant for human drama because all the perils and all the problems you get into in situations like this is a great platform to create this game.
And kind of going off that line, is there going to be any kind of player choice in it? Because in the trailer we saw the point where you had the choice to cut off his leg. Well, it wasn't really a choice, but when you cut off his leg, is there going to be any kind of choice or any kind of story branches that we're going to see here?
We're not trying to push for story branching to that regard. We're more looking at the choice of when you go into battle. A lot like what you have in multiplayer, where you can actually find different ways of solving a problem. You have different routes, you have different gadgets, you have vehicles that you can use or not use. So we see it more as a player choice when it comes to the action rather than the storytelling. So it's not like a game about choosing dialogue lines and stuff like that.
And kind of going off that as well, we saw in terms of tagging, things like that. Can you talk about how multiplayer has informed the single player?
There's quite a lot of stuff that we're taking from the playbook of multiplayer, because multiplayer is a lot about you and your team and how you play together. We want to integrate that into the storyline, of course, of the single player, but also different ways of how you give orders and you spot people. For instance, in multiplayer, we have a feature called Engage. What you saw in the demo was like when you engage the enemy, your squad will actually help you to take out the enemy. And also you saw the Super Engage feature, where you actually, when you have different vehicles around you, they will actually help out, like the helicopter in the demo also helped you when they were available. So that is of course something we take directly from multiplayer, but also the freedom of choice when it comes to using vehicles that you also saw in the demo, and also finding different paths and taking different routes through an environment, which is also very multiplayer-like when it comes to a Battlefield game. So we want to get the same feeling on a multiple level, both from a team play and also a kind of play style focus when it comes to the single player.
Now, we didn't see anything about multiplayer today. Is there any kind of timetable as to when we might see something?
I can't talk about that right now. We're not revealing anything about multiplayer, but I think most people know that we have a pretty decent multiplayer in Battlefield 3, and of course we have a lot of innovation and really cool things to show you later on.
Now, the Frostbite engine is one of the industry's leading pieces of technology. It's used in a lot of games. Can you talk about how it's evolved from Frostbite 2 to Frostbite 3 and what kind of advances this is allowing you in terms of Battlefield 4?
There's a lot of things we're doing with the Frostbite 3 engine. First of all, we're adding all the high-end features that you need to be a player today when it comes to creating games. I think the most important aspect is that we're working so tight with the dev team for the Frostbite engine that they are integrated in our needs in a way that we couldn't do with an external engine. They are building stuff tailored to create this game. They are helping us to create an engine that is easy to use, so we can utilize all the creative powers of the artists and sound designers, animators, etc., etc. They're also making sure that we have a very smooth way of iterating on all the content in the game. And you can, as you see in the demo, you get to a new level almost when all these things play together. It's not about a technical feature anymore. It's about creating an experience. So the Frostbite team is actually focus on creating an experience with us rather than creating a game engine alone.
And we also saw in the demo that there was going to be some sort of it looked like social interactivity with the things in the top of the screen we saw there. Can you discuss about what those features are?
I can't go into detail exactly what those features are, but in general what we're trying to do is integrate more of the social aspect of playing Battlefield in multiplayer and move that over to single player. So there will be certain elements of competitive social gaming, but also getting invites to multiplayer sessions when you're playing the single player game. So we are integrating Battlelog features into single player in a way which we haven't done before. Our goal is, of course, to create the best Battlefield game that we ever delivered, and also innovate in all areas, including ways of interacting with the game.